People who just joined, can I ask you what is your actual role? What is your actual country, level of expertise also? So I can better imagine who are assisting to the presentation. Maybe you can write in the chat.
Okay. And do you prefer to take the questions at the end of the talk or?
Yes, I think it would be better to take the question at the end,
Okay.
because I won't be able to follow both the slide, the console, and the questions. But feel free to answer the question in the chat if you want.
Okay. I will start with a little introduction. Thanks to join this session. This session are about and organized by Group Bs. And my name is Mazloum Tosun. I am a CDO at Group Bs and also a Google developer expert. We organize talks every month and share our knowledge with people. And we are a freelancer group in France, and we work with several customers, and we are also expert on data and Google Cloud topics. And today, thanks for our speaker, Axel Thévenot, and I let Axel to introduce himself.
Yes, thank you, Mazloum, for hosting the session. About me, I just joined a newly created company, which is Venom Engineering. We also are doing some consulting for data and more specialized on GCP data stack. So yes, by the end of the session, feel free to reach me out if you have any mission, if you have any chance of collaboration. I will be glad to answer. So maybe you can start for the webinar. And thank you for your answer. I see you come from everywhere. Really great. So thank you very much for joining. It's really impressive to have this number of person. I'm a bit under pressure, but I think it will be fine. And I hope my English will be fine too. So let's begin. Thank you, Cathy. Let's begin the session about type syntax, which is a syntax which is just released for everyone in generally availability, but I used it for the past few months, maybe 6 months. So I already have done a lot of queries with it. And also I collaborate with the Google team, which release this syntax to give them insight about it. So we could exchange a lot, and they could improve the product. So yes, I'm really glad to introduce this to you. And my main objective is to advocate this syntax because I really believe this is an important thing to have. And especially for the data analytics field, it really helps me to gain a lot of time for my ad hoc queries for analytic purposes, because by nature it is really iterative and it makes it easier to read, to maintain, to build. And this is why I want to go through a live coding format, so you can also see how I can interact with the syntax and how I can manage all the query building process, which is not really clear with only slides. So just in short, what is the pipe syntax? It's really easy to understand. It is a linear flow which goes from top to the bottom. And what is important, it is sequential. So every steps will be splitted by the pipe operator. Of course, you can use operators in an unundered way, and you can repeat every single operator as many times as you want. There is one really important paradigm inside this syntax. It is everything is a table. So my source is a table. Then this output table is passed through as a later operator, which is also an input table for my transformation, and it produces an output table, and so on, and so on, and so on. Everything can be synced as a table. And this is really what changes from the standard SQL, where every single clause is interacting within each other. So it's hard to iterate and see the results and go for the next result and build your query like that. Some advantage I've seen are the readability, because it is really easier to write, to maintain, to also understand. Not at first glance. It's quite difficult to understand and to be comfortable with the syntax. But with the use, it becomes really elegant and natural to think about. For example, if we take this query, we have to read as a from table, then it is filtered, and then it is aggregated. Then you have some aggregated columns, you filter, and then you order. So it is really hard to understand how the query is built, but it is way more easier to understand it sequentially. You have every single step operation which are simply declared from this syntax. So yes, it improves a lot the developer experience, and there are some more advantages. I wrote a full article about the advantages and limitation of the pipe syntax, which is just there. Maybe I can show you now the slides. Those slides, you can take it as your own. You can consider this is your slide. I don't really care if you remove my photo, if you share it internally or externally. My only concern is to share broadly as a syntax. So feel free to consider it is yours. You can copy and paste, etc., etc. Even re-perform the presentation within your team. Feel free for everything. And I just want to insist about two limitations. The first one is the adoption, because it is still a new way of writing. So there are not really experience on it, not really guiding style, not really best practices. And of course, it requires to have adoption not only in BigQuery, but also in other platforms. So it can be really a smoother move to say, hey, I'm sure if I learn this syntax, I will be able to move from BigQuery to Snowflake, for example, or to Databricks, which Databricks also have introduced the exact same BigQuery syntax. So things are moving. It will be slow, but things that are moving, and the biggest challenge is for me is the adoption, and this is why I emphasize a lot and I try to advocate it, because I really mean this syntax is powerful for the data analytics field. And also, as it is a work in progress, there are still some limitation to this. For example, you think which was not the case when under preview, but now if we have a set of instructions. So if you have a procedure, you can't start your query by the from operator because BigQuery won't recognize it as an existing thing. So you have to create a small workaround, which is to select start like usually you do, and then continue your query with pipe. So this is still under construct. I've opened an issue about it, so I hope this will be cleared and fixed. But yes, you have to consider it. So maybe you can have some issues with DBT, for example, or for myself, it was with data form. But you just have to have this warehousing with a select star from, and then continue with pipe. So what's the syntax is useful for? It is really useful for log data analysis, for ad hoc analysis, for data exploration, visualization, and data engineering, specifically for the analytics suite. So as you can see, it is really powerful for BigQuery. It is really powerful for every single analytical database. But to be honest, I don't think there is any interest to have this syntax into transactional databases like Cloud SQL, Postgre, MySQL, etc., because we don't really require to have lots of transformation and a lot of transformation which are under an iterative process of steps to transform the data. Other great use case are the use of ML model within BigQuery, because it is really easy to set your feature engineering transformation, then call your models to predict it, and then post-process and enrich your data after the prediction. And it is really easier also for Gen AI and auto-completion. Let's say you have you want to create a query. Generally, you start from select star from, and now we can't really auto-generate the query because we don't have the source, we don't have any business context, and Gen AI could not really help there. But it is not really the case with with the pipe syntax, because you can just create your transformation and at each steps, it will know the previous context, and it will be easier to generate the following query. And of course, it is possible in the future to have better user interface. For example, if you want, I had one example I gave to Google. For example, it was to be able to click on it, and automatically it executes the whole query until this operator. So it will be easier to debug, to maintain, to yes, just to discover also. So maybe we can see in the future some better UI with this kind of tool. And also it will be better with ORMs and auto-generated queries. I really think about Looker or Data Prep, which under the hood are generating some really gigantic queries which are unmanageable later. We can't really copy and paste the generated query and build on it something more. We have to rewrite the whole process. So I really hope this will be an option in the future for data preparation, for example. So we can start with data preparation and then send it to our data engineering team, so we can make it to production pretty easily. Before having a walk through the operators, maybe if we can have 5 or 10-minute questions, if you have any. And do not hesitate to tell me if I'm not clear enough on a specific point. Yes?
I would like to know what is the impact of performance, if there is any, using the pipe syntax.
Okay. This is a really good question. And the answer, it is, this is not a new language. This is a new syntax. So this is only changing the way we are writing the query. But behind the scene, Google is computed the query into an interpretable language, which is then optimized with the BigQuery optimizer. So if you write in standard or in pipe syntax, it will be converted into a single and same interpretable language. So it will be optimized the same. It will reuse the same building blocks. It will reuse the same optimization which already exists. So there are no change in terms of optimization if you choose one language and the other. And it also enables the possibility to, okay, let's go to this slide, to use both syntax within the same query, because it is then converted into a same understandable language for the machine.
There is another question.
Yes, Kirill?
Yeah. Please ask your question, Kirill.
Just well, maybe Kirill has some issues with his phone. Axel, I would like to ask you a question. So I've never seen this aggregate thing on BigQuery. It's on your line 17.
Yes.
Is it new with pipeline syntax, or I just missed something?
Exactly. Yes. This is this is not an existing keyword. This is specific to the pipe syntax for aggregating the data, and I will show you this operator later.
Great, thank you.
And this is not the only new keyword. You also have rename. You also have extend. I will show you all of it just right after.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, take take the mic. Who wants?
Hey, Axel. When we have a really long pipelines, let's assume that a pipeline is doing 10 different SQL queries, one followed by the other in a sequential fashion.
Yes.
And those could be merged into this pipeline syntax as probably just one job. My question to you is, when you are doing something sequential, which includes like 10 different SQL queries, there is this notion of you creating a temporary table or a permanent table between steps as you go through the sequence itself. My question to you is, as this could be part of a single job instead of having 10 sequential jobs, in terms of total time taken, what do you see as a difference?
I'm not sure to have understood the question, but I'll try to answer. So you have really a huge query with a lot of CTEs, which sequentially appealing each other, and you want to rework it in pipe. So of course you can. And if the question was if it is better to split the whole query into some views, for example, or not, to be honest, it will really depend on your use case. It won't have any optimization drawbacks, neither advantages. So it's really an organization way of doing things. I don't think there is any benefit of using intermediate views if you don't reuse them for other queries. Tell me if I don't answer your question.
Oh, yeah. So you're along the correct path. Let's assume between those SQLs, there is like temporary tables and intermediate tables that you're creating, which is actually hitting a storage.
Oh,
then,
no.
So this
you
doesn't
don't...
need to hit storage as this is going in
no,
a single job.
It's not creating tables between steps, if this is a question.
Correct. So that means the job will be more efficient using the pipe syntax.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what I'm
Yes.
asking is, like, have you done a comparison comparing like a very large pipeline storing 10 different temporary tables or permanent tables versus one pipe syntax which just merges all those 10 different jobs into one?
I'm not sure to understand your use case, but the best answer I can give you is that the pipe syntax will be as optimized as a standard one. So everything you do in one way can be done the same with the same optimization, whatever the syntax you choose. And of course, it won't produce any temporary result behind the scene. It will be really logical. And when I said you have to take it as a table in input and it produces a table as output, this is just the way you have to think, but not the way it is working behind the scene, because every computation is merged, is optimized, so it won't necessarily runs the same way you write.
Just a really small question. Actually, I'm really curious if Google team thought of the situation when I can just click on a button and transform all my SQL code to pipeline syntax.
Oh, so you want to have a translator?
Yeah, so.
To be honest, I've tried a bit with Gemini to just send my old query and send the documentation as a context, and it works pretty well. Not really useful every time, but it is a really good starting point if you want to just try it.
Excellent.
But there is no such tool to translate from one to another.
Great.
I think Axel, you can search for I don't know if you want to translate from pipe to standard SQL or vice versa, but we have just launched a few a tool, an SQL playground that can do that. If you want, I will drop it on the discussion.
Yes, if this is Starlake you are speaking about, feel free to share the link to everyone.
Okay.
Yes. And this is a good example of the adoption concern. I'm really glad to see this coming because it really says there is a good thing behind, because there is a lot of effort which is made by Databricks and other tools to implement this syntax. There is really a need. Okay, so maybe I can just guide you through the operators. I'll try to be as fast as possible. Maybe I won't cover everything within the time frame, but I'll do my best, and at the end everything will be defined in the slide. So if I don't have the time to go through every single operator, feel free just to read the slide later and try by your own. Also, just in the query example, this is queries you can copy and paste and try by your own. And I really encourage you to try it, test it, break it, because this is the only way to really touch how this is good. Okay, so if we begin by the beginning is.
Sorry, Axel.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a little question?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just wondering how the pipe syntax handle multiple tables.
Okay, so you want
because
to
with
join?
Because with CTE we can define a lot of temporal sources, and after we can join them, etc., etc. So how can I'm just wondering how it can be handled with pipe syntax.
So let's say you want to create your query. You want to have your bike stations first. Okay, bike stations as auto completion. Thanks. Okay, from, and then stations. You can have your query, your steps, and then just join, for example, with your bike station and continue there, where extend, etc., etc. So you can really manage to create queries the same way you are used to. So you can use CTEs first. You can start with a from query. For example, if I use bike trips and then join with the stations. Okay, stations. It's on start station ID, which is equal to station ID. I will just apply a limit for the result to be faster. It will cost the same, but the result will be faster. Okay, and then you have your join like every single query you have. Of course, you will be able to join in later steps, but you can really do what you actually can do within the from clause. So speaking about the from, you can put a table, you can put a view, you can put CTEs, also table value functions, or even some subqueries. Select okay, from select one. You can. So everything is working like it is working with the standard from clause. You can really reference everything you want. There is as operator in the pipe syntax, yes, which will be useful to disambiguate aliasing when you want to join in later steps. I will show you just later.
Pipes matter. The order of pipes matter. Can I?
Yes, ask your question.
Yeah, is the order of pipes matter? What I mean is, can I write first order by then where condition like that? Can I do that, or?
I'm sorry, I don't get the question.
I want to write a condition and order by both in the query. Okay, where condition and order by.
Okay.
For example, can you please write order by first? Order by.
Oh.
Order
by start.
And now include the where condition.
Just before?
No, after order by.
Yes. And what do you want? Maybe bike type, which
Hello,
is
sorry, I'm late.
to, no worry, to electric. Okay.
So there is okay. We can add pipes anywhere, right? There is no order. We need to write where condition before order by. There is no that kind of restriction, right?
No, there is no condition. You can use every single operator you want at any step. You can repeat them, you can reuse them, you can even order by here, assign a where and reorder. Of course, this is useless, but you can do really what you want. You have to imagine every single operator is isolated from each other. So you really manage operator by operator, and you can reuse them everywhere you want. And it will optimize automatically behind the scene by BigQuery.
Okay.
So I'll just continue to avoid being limited by the time. So the most important operator are the operator which permits to select, apply some transformation, define the column you need. So you have the usual select statement where you can select the column you want. For example, if I just want to have the trip ID, if I want to have the byte type, but I want it to be lower, I can do everything I want, like I do with the single select statement. And for other things, okay, you have also an extend. Oh no, just a remark. At any step, if you don't have any select statement at the end, it is the same as having a select star at the end. It is completely optional to write it. It will always return the select star.
Hello, how are you?
Finding you. And you can also extend your column. So extend is used to add some more column. This is the equivalent of using select star and then your transformation. So this is a shorthand.
Oh, hi,
Extend
Ben.
Hi, Leila.
timestamp as cure time, for example. So here you will have those two columns plus the extend one. And then you have the set.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. You have the set operator, which is to replace some column values. For example, if I just want to, okay, let's say I have my byte type and I want my byte type to be upper.
Oh, how are you, Ben?
Oh, please.
I removed the hair from.
Yes, please, Mazloom.
Ah.
Okay, so if you want to have your byte type to be lower, but not change, okay, for example, not change any order from the select statement, it will have an in-place replacement within the query. So yes, here you have select your byte type and then applied a transformation which not renaming it, but replacing the old values by the new one. And of course, you can apply some more transformation if you want to your trip ID, if you want to pad with zeros, etc., etc. And then you have also the rename operator, which is just to rename some things. For example, the byte type as byte type underscore, and it will rework the same. It will remove this column and replace it in the same order as the input table. And you also have the drop, which simply is equivalent to a select star, except, for example, I don't want to have some byte type from the result. I want to exclude it. So I can select star except, but also I can use the same, which is drop, and then the list of columns I want to remove, and it won't work because the byte type is not existing anymore because I already have removed it previously. So this will work. And yes, I think I will have the limits, which is persisting because it is so long to wait. Okay, so if you can see, there is no byte type anymore. Some really important thing to do, you can't apply some aggregation within those operator, and you have the aggregate statement, which is there for aggregation. And one thing which is really cool is that the ending commas are supported, which was already the case with the select statement. So there is no debate between trailing or ending commas. This is ending commas. One more operator, which is for me a mistake from Google. They release the window. Okay, they release the, for example, if I want to have okay, to apply a rank over okay, over the list, and I want to apply the rank over duration minutes. I can do it, which is with a window which is only accepting okay as a rank, which is only accepting windowing function and transformations, but it is the very same as using extend. So window is completely useless. You already have the extend, so please use the extend operator instead, and don't use it because for me it is another keyword which is already reserved to create what it is name windows. And name windows can be used to avoid some repetition when you want to create some window clauses within your standard SQL. And I also put a link of my Medium article about windowing function and everything you have to know about it. Yes, Zakaria, I'll share the slide. So is it clear at this point? I just read the comments and questions. So when you drop, yes, Fabiola, if you use the drop, it removes the column and it won't be accessible anymore in further steps. So speaking about aggregation, you have only one possibility to aggregate and one which is sufficient. You can aggregate, you have two possibilities. You can aggregate, for example, at the table level. So if you just use this, okay, some duration minutes as, okay, I will just reuse the same names. Okay, so if you specify the aggregates, it will by default aggregate the whole table into one line, one returning row, which is an aggregation of your function there. And you can also apply a group by to the aggregate statement. So you can, like you'll do with a standard group by statements, you can group by type, for example, and by subscriber type, and it will return the same aggregated values by the grouped dimensions. So what it is returned, it is always the dimensions order by the orders you have write it, and then the aggregated results. So here you have your by type, subscriber type, and then your aggregation. And it's also it's possible to use every single transformation within the group by statement and name the column. For example, if I want to know subscriber type is, for example, like membership as is membership. Okay. So you can also use some transformation, but it won't be possible to, for example, use only scalar here. You can't do this, for example. But you can do everything you want as long as you have one aggregation function which is in the aggregate. And I will skip some slides. Okay. Yes, of course, ending commas are supported here. So really useful for code versioning and code management. And I will just skip some slide and go there because you have some shorthands for grouping and aggregating and ordering in the same time. You can use the group and order by. So it will group and order by the list of your dimensions. For example, here you have your query, your result, which is ordered by type ascendingly, and then by membership. And here we can just put a descendant, so it will reorder in the descendant way. And you can also remove the order by. And for example, if I want to order by the subscriber type, and I want then to order by the duration minutes descendantly, it will also be possible. So it is the equivalent of using order by is membership, des, and duration. So if you use the shorthands for ordering, it will always take the order within the group by list, and then it will take the rest from the aggregate list. I just verify if I don't forget anything. No, everything is supported, like the null last. See, maybe this is a good example here. Okay, for example, I want to have nulls. Okay, ascendantly. Okay, if you sort ascendantly, the nulls are first, but I want to have null to be considered as last, so you can use it like that, and it will be at the end of the sorting result. And you can also use every grouping sets, like grouping set, cube, roll up, and that's it. So you can play with the way you are grouping within the group by, like you do probably today, but you can't use okay, for example, you can't use group by cube and use the shorthand for ordering. It is well, yes, okay, it is mandatory to order in the later step. Do you have any question at this point?
Axel?
Yes.
Yes. I'm just wondering why there is an order by pipe syntax operator and not a group by pipe syntax operator.
Okay. There is both. Okay. There is no group by operator because a group by operator is completely useless alone. It is always followed by an aggregation. So you have to specify both in the same building block, but you have an order by because you don't really need to aggregate everything. Maybe you just want to let's say have your order by here, and the rest is no query. So the order by is really mandatory for other cases.
Okay, thank you.
So in pipe syntax, window doesn't create a name window. Yes, Xavier, and this is not possible to use and to create some name windows. Really sad about that, but hope it will come a day. This is the only feature which is missing and which is not backward compatible with standard SQL. So this is to me the biggest Google mistake when they released this feature.
Axel, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
It's regarding because I can see that you've used where in multiple locations, which I assume is essentially the same as an and. How do you work with ORs and bracketing the ORs and making sure that that works as you expect it to?
Work with what? Sorry?
Or when you do where this is that and
Oh.
this is that, or this is, you know.
Okay, so great. And this was the next step and the next operator presented. So I will go to it and answer everything. Perfect. I will just take it. Okay, so like every single where clause you are used to, you can of course create everything you want. You can have your where clause with the end. You can also, because this is an additive suppression, you can split it in two because you think it is better to for management, for example, or you want to be organized like that because you feel it is one specific use case and one other rule. But of course, you can use the or statement there, like you are used to do.
Fab. I just wondered whether I wonder whether that could get complex if you are using the wheres in multiple places, like specifying the wheres, and then you suddenly do an or in one. You know how you've got to be so careful with bracketing your ors just the right way for them to behave properly. And I just wonder whether when you're doing multiple wheres in a pipe syntax,
okay,
if you have to be really conscious.
To be honest, I use the end statement only when the business rule implies an end. For example, if I want to, okay, for example, if I want to filter in real life my bike type to be electric and my subscriber type to be pay as a ride, for me, as I understand, this is two different rules. So I will organize my code to looks like my rules. So I will prefer to have multiple where clause, which can be rearranged, which can be maybe in the future changed, maybe removed. So no, I know if I use an and, this is actually the same rule combining two conditions. But it is really, to be honest, you can do both. It is really the way you are creating your query and you want to debug it and understand it.
Perfect, thank you.
And coming to the where clause and the having does not exist anymore, and qualify does not exist anymore for the simple reason it is because every single input is a table and the output is a table, so you don't have to have the having clause or the qualify clause, which makes no sense and adds some redundancy for just filtering. So it does not exist, and the only way of apply filtering on rows is to use the where operator, and it's completely fine and way more easier to understand, of course. Yes, also it can be useful for deduplication, for example. We are used to use row number. Okay,
My
row
friend,
number.
how are you?
Maslum, if you
Yes.
You better not kick me out, huh? Yeah, you.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. The second time for him. Yes, if you have some use case and you want to deduplicate your data, you can. Oh, wrong number. Okay, no, I've done completely no sense. Okay, if you want to deduplicate your data and keep only one row for each tribe ID, maybe the last tribe ID, I don't remember. Okay, so this is a start time. So if you want to have your last tribe ID, you can just apply your windowing condition within the where. It is completely supported. So feel free to use. Don't use the qualify. You can't because it does not exist. So it's perfect. You don't have to first create your column and filter on it. You can just simply write like that.
And if you have a pipe in your select statement, will it disturb the query syntax?
Without the select statement?
No. You have the select statement, but within the select statement, you have a pipe. Yeah, you just put two rows or a constant together.
Not sure to get your point. You mean if within the select statement, if there is some more pipes?
Yeah, so if you do now quote X quote, then pipe.
Quote.
No brackets, quote. Yeah. X.
Yes.
That's a constant, and then behind the quote, last quote, you have two pipes. No, all the way in the back. Yeah.
Okay. For concatenates. Oh, it
Yes.
will be fine. It will be completely fine. Everything will work. Okay, so maybe extend as stuff.
Yeah.
It will be completely fine because, and this is why the operator is really ugly. It is because it is easy to detect and easy to split. So yes, this is why they don't use it because of concatenation and because this is already an operator which is existing and it is a bitwise operator if my memory is good. I don't really know if the bitwise operator is used in BigQuery, but maybe yes. And so they were forced to use this weirdo thing. About yes. Yes.
Hello, Axel. I want to recognize if I can use dynamic SQL in pipes. I mean, execute immediate and so on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, to be honest, I didn't try. I don't see why it won't work. It has to work, but I didn't even tried it.
Sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
The question was about the execute immediate. If this is working with the pipe syntax within the string, is it? Was it the question?
Exactly.
Okay.
About execute immediate.
Okay. I'm just looking at time, and I'm completely run out of time. So I think I've covered the most important case. You can of course use standard union all, intersect except, which is extended because you can union all or accept multiple subsequent queries, which was not really possible previously, but now it is with just a comma separated queries. And you have the as keyword I want to talk about. which can be really useful because here I didn't even give it a name. So it will have some issues within the on clause to identify which column is from which table. So it helps to disambiguate input columns. And you also have every other single operator, table sample, pivot. Also, I've put some best practices. I won't go really dive deep inside because I'm working on a full article and try to or attempt to create a style guide and best practices for the pipe syntax use case. So I hope to release it early March. So I will share you this. I just gave you some example of best practices I can see. So feel free to have a look at it. One important can be, of course, comments, which are really easier now because each step is producing one single element and one single reasoning. So it's easy now to add some comments. Do not hesitate to create visual chunk, also to better visualize what your query is doing. So like that, I know those two operators are building the same logic. What also I can think, no, it's good. It's good. Just one last thing, maybe it's to not be afraid to use and mix both syntax when you feel it is more comfortable. For example, when I work with Google Analytics events where there are a lot of nested formats, it is easier and way more natural for me to use this kind of standard SQL. So I prefer to use it even if I can use the pipe syntax inside. I won't because it feels not really natural for me. I don't know for you, but I really prefer to have standard SQL statement there. So it's up to you, but do not be afraid to mix up the syntax. For me, this syntax is really useful to split the overall logic, and that's it. So yes, maybe I can ask some more question and for 5 minutes. Thank you to all. It was a pleasure to make. Just a bit late, but it was great, and I hope you learned many things. And feel free to share the slides. It's your own slides, no? So yes, feel free to share with anyone you want within your team or not. Yes, thank you. If you have any question, I'd be glad to ask.
Just Axel, just regarding the union, I think in the slides you can add that union by name is also supported on pipe syntax.
Yes,
I don't think.
yes, it is completely supported. Yes, union by name is supported. You can use the corresponding and every other stuff which has been released the previous week, I think.
Yes. Thanks for the presentation, Axel. Really
You're
nice.
welcome.
Thank you.
Maybe you can stop the screen sharing, Mazloom.
Yes,
if you want.
Yes, okay.
Yes, I will just stay here 5 minutes. If you want to leave, feel free to leave. And if you want to reach me out later for questions, for consulting, feel free. I'd be glad to discuss with you.